Elvis aired on Presley, January 8, 1935. August 16, 1977 was an American singer and actor. Referred to as the king of rock and roll, he is widely regarded as one of the most culturally significant figures of the 20th century. Presley's energetic and sexually provocative performance style, combined with a mix of influences across color lines during a transformative era in race relations, brought both great success and initial controversy. Presley was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. His family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. When he was 13, he began his music career in 1954 at Sun Records with producer Sam Phillips, who wanted to bring the sound of African American music to a wider audience. Presley, on guitar and accompanied by lead guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black, was a pioneer of rockabilly, an up-tempo, backbeat-driven fusion of country music and rhythm and blues. In 1955, drummer DJ Fontana joined to complete the lineup of Presley's classic quartet, and R.C.A. Victor acquired his contract in a deal arranged by Colonel Tom Parker, who managed him for the rest of his career. Presley's first R.C.A. Victor single, Heartbreak Hotel, was released in January 1956 and became a #1 hit in the U.S. Within a year, R.C.A. Victor sold 10 million Presley singles. With a series of successful television appearances and chart-topping records, Presley became the leading figure of the newly popular rock and roll. Though his performing style and promotion of the then marginalized sound of African Americans led to him being widely considered a threat to the moral well-being of white American youth. In November 1956, Presley made his film debut in Love Me Tender. Drafted into military service in 1958, he relaunched his recording career 2 years later with some of his most commercially successful work. Presley held few concerts and, guided by Parker, devoted much of the 1960s to making Hollywood films and soundtrack albums, most of them critically derided. Some of Presley's most famous films included Jailhouse Rock 1957, Blue Hawaii 1961, and Viva Las Vegas 1964. In 1968, he returned to the stage in the acclaimed NBC television comeback special Elvis, which led to an extended Las Vegas concert residency and several highly profitable tours. In 1973, Presley gave the first concert by a solo artist to be broadcast around the world, Aloha from Hawaii. Years of substance abuse and unhealthy eating severely compromised his health, and Presley died in August 1977 at his Graceland estate at the age of 42. Presley is one of the best-selling music artists in history, having sold an estimated 500 million records worldwide. He was commercially successful in many genres, including pop, country, rock and roll, rockabilly, rhythm and blues, adult contemporary, and gospel. Presley won 3 Grammy Awards, received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award at age 36, and has been posthumously inducted into multiple music halls of fame. In 2018, Presley was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He holds several records, including the most Recording Industry Association of America, or IAA, certified gold and platinum albums, the most albums charted on the Billboard 200, the most #1 albums by a solo artist on the UK Albums Chart, and the most #1 singles by any act on the UK Singles Chart. Death. On August 16, 1977, Presley was scheduled for an evening flight from Memphis to Portland, Maine to begin another tour. That afternoon, his fiancée Ginger Alden discovered him unresponsive on the bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion. Attempts to revive him failed, and he was pronounced dead at Baptist Memorial Hospital at 3:30 p.m. He was 42. President Jimmy Carter issued a statement that credited Presley with having permanently changed the face of American popular culture. Thousands of people gathered outside Graceland to view the open casket. One of Presley's cousins, Billy Mann, accepted 18,000 United States dollars to secretly photograph the body. The picture appeared on the cover of the National Enquirer's biggest-selling issue ever. Alden struck a $105,000 deal with the Enquirer for her story, but settled for less when she broke her exclusivity agreement. Presley left her nothing in his will. Presley's funeral was held at Graceland on August 18th. Outside the gates, a car crashed into a group of fans, killing 2 young women and critically injuring a third. About 80,000 people lined the processional route to Forest Hill Cemetery, where Presley was buried next to his mother. Within a few weeks, way down topped the country and UK singles charts. After an attempt to steal Presley's body in late August, the remains of both Presley and his mother were exhumed and reburied in Graceland's meditation garden on October 2nd. Cause of death? While an autopsy, undertaken the same day Presley died, was still in progress, Memphis medical examiner Jerry Francisco announced that the immediate cause of death was cardiac arrest and declared that drugs played no role in Presley's death. In fact, drug use was heavily implicated in Presley's death, writes Garalnik. The pathologists conducting the autopsy considered it possible that he had suffered anaphylactic shock brought on by the codeine pills he had gotten from his dentist, to which he was known to have had a mild allergy. Lab reports filed 2 months later strongly suggested that polypharmacy was the primary cause of death. One reported 14 drugs in Elvis' system, 10 in significant quantity. In 1979, forensic pathologist Cyril Wecht reviewed the reports and concluded that a combination of depressants had resulted in Presley's accidental death. Forensic historian and pathologist Michael Baden viewed the situation as complicated. Elvis had an enlarged heart for a long time. That, together with his drug habit, caused his death. But he was difficult to diagnose. It was a judgment call. The competence and ethics of 2 of the centrally involved medical professionals were seriously questioned. Francisco had offered a cause of death before the autopsy was complete, claimed the underlying ailment was cardiac arrhythmia, a condition that can be determined only in a living person, and denied drugs played any part in Presley's death before the toxicology results were known. Allegations of a cover-up were widespread. While a 1981 trial of Presley's main physician, George C. Nicopolis, exonerated him of criminal liability, the facts were startling. In the first 8 months of alone, he had prescribed more than 10,000 doses of sedatives, amphetamines, and narcotics, all in Elvis' name. Nicopolis' license was suspended for 3 months. It was permanently revoked in the 1990s after the Tennessee Medical Board brought new charges of overprescription. In 1994, the Presley autopsy report was reopened. Joseph Davis, who had conducted thousands of autopsies as Dade County, Florida coroner, declared at its completion, "There is nothing in any of the data that supports a death from drugs. In fact, everything points to a sudden, violent heart attack." More recent research has revealed that Francisco did not speak for the entire pathology team. Other staff could say nothing with confidence until they got the results back from the laboratories, if then. One of the examiners, Eric Muirhead, could not believe his ears. Francisco had not only presumed to speak for the hospital's team of pathologists, he had announced a conclusion that they had not reached. Early on, a meticulous dissection of the body confirmed that Elvis was chronically ill with diabetes, glaucoma, and constipation. As they proceeded, the doctors saw evidence that his body had been racked over a span of years by a large and constant stream of drugs. They had also studied his hospital records, which included to admissions for drug detoxification and methadone treatments. Welcome to the spectacular world of 1000 vlogs.